Good evening. My name is Andrew West, and I'm going to Perris, California today to do a documentary on the Good Hope Mine. And this is a return, and I want to correct some of the mistakes I made in my earlier video. We're at Hartford Springs County Park, and I'm Andrew West. And this is off of Santa Rosa Mine Road, and this is part of the Gavilan Mining District. And this is one of the side adits. They're not called shafts, they're called adits or tunnels. And the adit is actually quite easy to reach. It's only a short walk. It's about 2 minutes from the road. Just look for the sign that says no motorized vehicles. Although this is part of the park and people are allowed access. From my research, this is part of the Good Hope Mine, although it's one of the side adits. The Good Hope Mine would be towards the mountains in the background and would be off of Spring Street and is still accessible, though it is very difficult to get to. One does need four-wheel drive. The Gavilan Mining District comprises quite a bit of Perris, and there are tunnels all over it. In fact, it is honeycombed with tunnels. One should be very careful here. There are also ventilation shafts which are quite deep and one could take quite a fall. Also, the mine proper goes down about 600 feet, and this is quite dangerous. People do get injured and at times killed up here, so you should be extremely careful. I located this area from a video on YouTube called Abandoned Mines in Perris. In fact, there are, I believe, 2 or 3 videos on this one side tunnel. Although this does go back quite a ways. It goes back at least, the one video is half an hour, so it can go quite a ways back. And I really don't advise going back there. This appears to be part of an old structure that was there. I'm not sure if this was a well. It's rounded, so it does look like some type of water retention. And it could be from the Mexican days. It's mortar and rock, so that indicates Mexican construction. I believe this was tunneled out in the about the 1850s, somewhere around there, by Hispanic workers. This used to be a placer deposit, which means you would pan for the gold rather than, which is called hard rock mining, drilling into the rock actually. And they apparently followed the source of the gold to where they found where it went into the mountain and then began tunneling. And here it is right here. It's sealed up right at the moment with a grating. And I personally, I think that's a good idea. I really don't recommend going in there. Aside from it being an old mine, there could be rattlesnakes back there also. They like to cool. To the right of the picture, you can actually see the pick marks. It looks like some type of a drill, possibly a high-pressure air drill was used in the initial excavation, or they could have been using blasting caps in that area. You can also see where the blasting caps were drilled into the rock, so this definitely had to have had dynamite used on it at one time. That appears to be some blasting cap areas right there. And also, as I said, you can see the pick marks. And there's the grating. It's very solid. I would not attempt to even try and move it. In the next shot is a shot of the interior of the adit or tunnel, and it, as you can see, it goes back quite a ways. I had to twist my camera in order to get through the grating, but you can maybe see about 30 to 45 feet back. It goes much further. The one video on YouTube is almost a half hour of them being inside this tunnel, so it does go back a long ways. I'm not sure the exact distance. The air inside the tunnel seemed to be quite fresh, so that indicates there may be another entrance to it. I'm not sure. As I said, it is extensive. It goes quite a ways back. But there's the roof. There's where they drilled into it and used the picks again. There's no timbering inside at all. It's all hard rock or lode mining. As I recall from the video, there were air shafts though, so they do exist. They would be further back behind this though, and as I say, I would be very careful about exploring those areas. One could take quite a fall if they got caught up in that. This is what the train looks like in the park. Right now it's quite green after the rains, but in the summer it's very dry, so I do not suggest smoking there. And I'm going to end my narration right here, and thank you very much for watching.
Okay, this is Andrew West, and we're here at one of the tunnels from, I believe, from the Good Hope Mine. If I'm not correct about that, could someone please comment and correct me on that? But I came back here, I think it was a year and a half ago, and I wanted to come back and take another look. And this is the old shaft, I believe it's called, it's not a shaft, it's called an adit. If I'm not mistaken. Once again, if someone could correct me on that, I'd appreciate it. And this is all blocked off, but that goes back, I think, about a half mile or so. It goes way back there. And there do seem to be some dangerous places back there, which, you know, I really don't recommend going in it. It's not something an inexperienced person should do. And I believe the Good Hope Mine, let me adjust my coloring here, it should be right over there. That's off of Spring Street. And one can Google map it. It's not an easy place to get into. This is quite easy to get into. It's a short walk. And the time I was here before, it was quite a high fire danger area. It's much more green now, so I still do not recommend smoking back here. And this is not a no trespassing area, as I said. It's a no motorized vehicle area, so no motorcycles or off-road or all-terrain or anything like that. That's not allowed back here. But one can come back here. This is part of Hartford Springs County Park, and I believe it comprises over 40,000 acres. So it's quite a large park. You could walk around here forever and not find whatever it is you're looking for. And from what I understand, there's hundreds of shafts back here. I think a lot of them are adits. A lot of them are blocked off, though. And I'm going to come around here to the side and take a look at what's over here. I didn't really get to explore it that well the time I was here. One needs to be very careful of rattlesnakes back here during the summer, because there's quite a few back here. But there's a few side canyons. I think we encountered some snakes back here one time. But this is what your terrain looks like. I'm trying not to shoot into the sun. But there are shafts all over. I think quite a few of them are buried, though. And this is the one that's the easiest to access. It's maybe 2 minutes from the road, so it's a very easy walk back here. I think there's another one back over into that direction, from what I understand, but there's at least 12 open shafts right around here. Some of them are quite smaller, though, than this one. And that leads into a ravine over there, and I think that was as far as we got the one time. But this is it. So this is Hartford Springs Park. Let's walk back here and see what's back here. I didn't get to check this out. And it looks like it just leads above the shaft. You have to be careful too. There are air vents in some of these, so and one could easily fall into that. But anyway, that's a little added area. This is a little juniper tree, it looks like. But it's right there, and there's a little ravine right there, and that's how you access it. And it's quite an interesting area. There's a lot of history there. This goes back to the 1850s, I believe, and back to the Mexican mining days. And I believe the miners would pan the stream, which would be off to the left here, kind of over by those rocks. And then I believe they followed the deposits to the source and then tunneled in from there. So anyway, and there's this isn't really that isolated. There's housing right up there, just right off the street. So, and I'm going to take some pictures with my cell phone too, because it has a lot higher pixelage. So, but this is my day at Hartford County Park. Okay, and I'm going to come back over here to show you where the tunnel area is again, which is right. It's in like a little ravine. So when coming in, one should look to the right, and you'll see it immediately. Yeah. Gold is always found in quartz, or most of the time. So one should look for quartz or tailings. These, I believe, are the mine tailings right here. At least some of the remains of it. And here's the entrance, which is blocked off, which I think was a good idea. Once again, I don't recommend going in there. But there it is. Okay, I'm going to sign off for this segment, and I hope you enjoyed it. Like I say, if anybody has any corrections or any information or advice, please feel free to contact me. And this will be posted at West Graphics on YouTube. Okay, thank you very much for viewing. Hi, I'm Andrew West. And today we're at one of the adits, one of the side tunnels from the Good Hope mine, at least from my understand. And I did a documentary about 1.5 years ago on this, and I wanted to correct some of the information that I had, which was incorrect. This is not the Good Hope mine. It's over to the left of me, over the ridge. And but this, I believe, is one of the tunnels. And I think I said in my other one that it went back only about 30 or 40 feet. It actually goes quite a bit further back, and I don't recommend going in. You could probably squeeze in there, but I don't recommend it. And it goes, I'd say probably about half a mile in. It's quite interesting. It gets very narrow back there, though. And rattlesnakes do like to go in there for the cool. So once again, I would not go in there. But one can see where they did some of the blasting here along the side. It looks like they used some type of drill or something to go in, and they blasted this all out. And I believe that I'm a little short of breath, so sorry. But I believe this goes back to the 1850s. And this was originally a placer mine, which means you panned for gold in the stream. And they must have followed it back to where the source was and then tunneled in. So, but there's a video on YouTube. There's several abandoned mines in Perris by Softy Pappy, I believe it is, which is much more extensive and is extremely interesting. I highly recommend watching it. And there's another one too where they went in. But it's graded off, as you can see, and so it's not easy. I could squeeze in. I'm so thin, but I don't recommend going in it. So.